The Gridiron is sponsored by Rothman Orthopedic.
Welcome to this week's edition of The Gridiron, sponsored by Rothman Orthopedics. I'm your host, John Brett, with head coach Chad Brubaker. In the PAC championship game, Springford came out victorious 38-21 to capture its first PAC title since 2015. Congratulations, coach, to you and your crew on a PAC championship and a tight game, a little closer than the score would indicate. You ended up winning by 17, but it was tied at halftime, and it was a really kind of couple of breaking points there in the second half where things could have went either way for you there a little bit.
Yeah, well, when you turn the ball over in the first half, that really, we had 3 turnovers in the first half, which if they don't lead directly to scores, they lead to switching field position. We knew going into the game, we felt like they'd have trouble stopping us consistently, but we knew also that they were good enough offensively, scheme-wise and players that we're gonna not be able to stop them the whole game. So and then when you give them a short field, the defense is not they're running off the sideline. All that stuff kind of affects it. But they played very well.
Yeah, and like you said, go back to the previous week where you played PV, no turnovers. You get a turnover, causes a pick six. Here's a game, you're 3 turnovers and a half.
Had none.
Right, and there's the game. And I think another thing, a positive to take from the game, I feel like you're really now getting back to like 100% balance with your offense and defense. It was almost like pass heavy, then you got run heavy. Now I feel like you're back in stages back in your career where like the whole playbook's open on every single play, essentially, for you, too.
Yeah, it is actually. We were talking about that on Sunday at our coaches' meeting about really, if you look down through our offense, you can say, well, we ran this, but we only ran it twice. In the last 3 weeks, we ran this, but we only ran it 3 times. We ran this, but we only ran it twice. We ran this 1 time against this team. So if you go down the list of our base plays, there's only a few plays that we haven't run, and so we've given everybody a sprinkling of everything. But we probably should have actually thrown a lot more on Friday night. They were keeping guys in the box. They were, blitzing guys, and we had some matchups that we liked. But the one thing what they did, which I think was pretty smart, was instead of playing press man, instead of playing way off, they kind of played in between. Mm-hmm. They did a lot of pre-snap movement. It's something that we do quite a bit of, and it kind of gives you some false reads pre-snap. So that was a good job on their part as well.
PAC championship, we talked about. How do you feel about this team right now as you enter your postseason? It's been a lot of years here, a lot of postseason runs, a lot of different teams. What's your read on this crew here as you enter postseason football?
Well, I'll start with the field. I think it's wide open. I think Downingtown West going in is probably a favorite, but they lost 2 weeks ago to Coatesville, who just lost to Downingtown East. I think that more so than many other years, there's not the quote-unquote great team that everybody's just like, well, chalk that one in. I think that you're going to see some upsets. I think you're going to there's going to be some surprise teams. But at the end of the day, I think, I've said to the kids, why not us? Like, we have to do a better job of protecting the football. There's no doubt about that. But we're getting closer to healthy at this time of the year. And really, a lot of playoff football is about who wants to be here, who wants to keep going. And you see a lot of, there's a common misnomer, I think, in playoffs that there's a lot of one-sided games. And I think my personal opinion of that is, when things go bad in a game and it might be your last game, there's 2 ways that you can go with that.
Yeah.
And if the kids want to keep playing, they're gonna try to overcome that. But the reality of it is, there are times where the kids are just like, oh man, they start thinking, this is going to be my last game. This is going to be my last game. And it's over. So that, I think, sometimes those lopsided scores part of that too.
Okay. A lot of teams from the pack going to play some postseason football. You guys are the highest seed, and you went on some tiebreaker criteria to get the 5, not the 6, but didn't get the 4.
Yeah, our opponents were about, I think the winning percentage was 58%. So that's a testament to us trying to go out and schedule good non-leagues.
Right, you had 2 losses still, and you're already still as high as the 5 seed.
There's a team in the pack talking about they have the best defense in the district in 6A, and you take a look at some of their opponents that they schedule. It's like, okay, well then go ahead, start scheduling up a little bit.
It shows because we're talking about the team that's red and white, and they only have 2 losses, and they're all the way down at 4. They're the 14 seed out there too.
Right.
So shows the difference between 5 and 14 and what you can get out of those. It's scheduling those teams, but finding a way to win a couple of those games.
Right, exactly. And when we know that, I mean, our goal, like we have 4 non-leagues right now, and our goal is obviously to win them all. But if we can come out 3-1. We'd be really happy with that this year. We happen to be 2-2 coming out of it. Should have been, we felt like we should have been 3-1. Lost to a very good Central Bucks South team.
Who's the 8th seed in this tournament?
Who's the 8th seed, and quite honestly, if we win that game, we'd be the 2 seed right now.
Wow,
we figured it out at 9-1. So that's a testament again to scheduling. But I think that Wilson's 9-1, so we got 90 points from them. CB South is 7-3, so we lost, but we got 70 points. So yeah.
And I'm sure Exeter is playing some postseason football out in District 3.
They are,
Yes, exactly.
They are.
And you got a Bavarian in the 5A team. You got Pottsgrove in the 4, and so there's a lot of teams in the pack still playing football. You talk about the league just growing as a whole as an opportunity too about football.
Well, the other thing, and again, I'm letting out a little bit of a secret here, but the way we've structured the league. Our league, people in our league, are the only ones anywhere we can collect the most points in week 10. Because essentially, our crossover becomes almost another non-league game. Mm-hmm. And then, so we take the 4, we can get up to 90 bonus points in week 10, which nobody else can in the sense that, ready?
I'm listening.
They have a league. So they're playing their own league. So one of the team wins, one of the team loses, so they can only get 10 of those points. But anyway, the other thing we haven't mentioned here is the job that Alex Nadeau did on Friday night. Now, Alex Nadeau is a kid that just kind of came out for football, started hanging around the weight room last year, wanted to be a kicker. And quite honestly, the first couple times that he kicked, we were like, well, this is a project. And he has, along with Grant, they are more obsessed with kicking than any 2 people I've ever seen in my life. But he has worked so very hard, and Friday night it really paid off. He had 8 points, including a field goal that he squeaked through, which was really put us up 2 scores and made all his extra points. So want to make sure we mention his name.
All right, Coach, good stuff right there. Let's take a look at the offensive highlights from Spring Ford PJP.
Offensive highlights are sponsored by Euro Motor Cars of Devon.
Boy, we didn't do well on the goal line a couple times. We didn't block things correctly, so we called. Ryan and I were basically the only 2 people in the entire stadium that knew we were going to do this. This is designed, all right? And I just told him, don't tell anybody. That makes the fake a lot better. But he made it to the end zone there and got it across the pylon. Here we did a good job. Ryan reads that end and does just a nice job there and walks into the end zone, literally and figuratively. Are these in order?
You're the one that does the videos, but here's Hayes running.
No, these aren't in order. But this is just a tremendous run by Armonte. Armonte fumbled twice on Friday night and was down a little bit about it, obviously. And
you go back to your running back.
You go back to him and you say, hey, this is the deal. Get it. And here he did again. This was a nice run. We changed up a little bit. We were running. We have 3 different inside zones. So this is the second of the 3 that we run. And just that little change up made a big difference. And here, this was a 4th and 12 with about a little over 2 minutes left. And we weren't going to punt. We certainly weren't going to kick a field goal. We said, hey, let's just throw it up. If we get it, great. If not, they get the ball.
And they gave you the coverage you wanted here, too. One-on-one on the outside.
One-on-one on the outside.
Perfect
and
ball.
Perfect throw and great catch by B.J. Beard. And, gave us that little cherry on top.
Like you said, like you ended up being 17, but like right there, it's 10. It's still, anything can happen at that stage of the game. But all right, well, congratulations. But we still got to do defense, and we'll talk some more districts. All right.
All right, let's do that.
All right, make sure you stay tuned through the commercial break, and we will do the defensive highlights from Springford, BJP.
Hi everyone, Al Roker here. As a guy with his own catchphrase, I appreciate that after 75 years, Smokey's only said,
"Only you can prevent wildfires."
But I'm filling in because there's a lot more to report. Like when there are parched or windy conditions out there, you gotta be extra careful with things like burning yard waste. After all, wildfires can start anywhere, even in your neck of the woods. Go to SmokeyBear.com to learn more about wildfire prevention.
Hey, Dad, I need your help asking Jessica to prom.
Of course. Love is like the ocean. You have to tread the waters.
Dad, that's not the kind of help I needed. Hey, Jessica. Will you go to prom with me?
Yes.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care can't wait to share their first with you.
Welcome back to the Gridiron, sponsored by Rothman Orthopedics. I'm your host, John Brennan, with the head coach, Chad Brubaker. All right, Coach, here, before we start talking defense a little bit here, and even districts, cool thing for you guys, the big ticket came out. Saw you guys after the, I know it's a local sports football show.
Allentown, actually.
They come out of Allentown, and they cover high school football and things, and they usually go to schools, big games, and they were there and saw you guys in the gym afterwards.
Yeah, now in 2015, we were in a studio, or wait.
I remember one year you went there.
2016, we were in a studio after the game.
Okay.
We had to drive there in a bus, and now sometimes they come out and they do remote, which is obviously much better.
Yeah.
So it was cool. Like, we knew that we were going to be on if we won, and I invited the band and the cheerleaders, which I subsequently found out we are the first team ever in the history. Now this show goes back 15 years.
Okay.
We were the first team ever to invite the band to that, Mr. Jones does such a great job, and we invited Coach Householder and the cheerleaders because they do such an awesome job, and we just wanted to share that with them. And the kids in 2016, the kids did this mannequin pose.
I remember that. That was the
so
thing.
most teams go in and they have like something that they're doing, whether they dress a certain way or whatever. So our kids, and I asked them what they're gonna do. And I don't care what they do as long, it's hilarious.
Yeah, just trying to goof around.
A couple kids they decided they were all going to sleep behind me, which was funny. And then Ryan Colander kept pulling food out. It was like the clown car. He kept pulling food out of his pocket.
Found more and more food, yeah.
Right. And a couple kids were pretending they were on their phone. And
it's almost the thing where it is you goof around. Like you're there talking about the team, but the kids are getting opportunity on TV.
And it's hilarious. And I love it. And, so you would think, but anyway, we actually had a parent phone call yesterday from a band parent who was upset that our kids were being disrespectful. And I'm just like, really? No good deed.
Some goof. Just
no good
goof.
deed.
Yeah.
It's just a shtick. And, the funny part about it is you don't understand at the end of it, you have to be there. You could have heard a pin drop while I was talking because I had a little earpiece, and I couldn't hear if anybody made any noise.
No chance.
There's no chance I heard. Like at the end of it, I wanted to shout out. I go, hey, can I shout out to? And the band started playing, and the kids started, and I was still live, didn't know it.
Yeah.
And I was going to shout out Mr. Jones and Coach Householder as well for being there and
well, they
whatever.
just got a little shout out here on the Gridiron.
Right,
so there you go.
They have a slightly bigger audience on the big ticket than
really.
Our show.
Now you're talking about all these people that are watching the show now,
right.
So.
I just want to make sure.
Quick little talk here about districts. We're going to talk about Haverford in the last segment, but like we said, PV's in there. They get a rematch with
Downingtown East.
Downingtown East, and you get the winner of that. If you guys can win, you get the winner of that game right there. The 1 seed's Downingtown West. 2, we got CB West. Right? Does that sound right? 3
don't know.
Three's Garnet Valley.
Yeah.
That sounds right. That's where OJ's
4
off
Downingtown East, 5 us.
6 Abington,
Right.
7.
Now you're going. I didn't memorize the whole thing.
Coatesville, it's 7.
Yeah, right.
Talk
true.
8. There's the home teams. We got the teams
Right.
get a home game. But
And OJ's
14
I
and
believe.
PV's 13.
They play Garnet Valley.
Yeah, they play Garnet Valley and PV's 13. Upper Marion's down in that 5A.
Yeah.
Grove's in the 4A. PJP's in that region with Philly schools at
Right.
3A. I think, did we get everybody that made districts out there in the pack?
I think so.
All right.
Yeah.
All right, so defense out there, great start for them. You know, PJP, prolific offense out there, and it's just they're getting off the field. And then, yeah, PJP builds some momentum. And I'm sure at halftime it was a little bit of, hey, we're fine, guys. You know, like it's almost kind of like they don't want to throw you under the bus, but like, hey, we got some short fields.
That's not how it was.
No, okay, right? Not throwing you, or they.
No, Coach Mick and I got a little perturbed with guys and the way they were talking about the first half going into the locker room. In other words, like more of a passive-aggressive nature than a reactive nature rather than a proactive nature. Like more so like, how is this happening versus I'm not going to let this happen. And so we let them know that wasn't the approach that we approved of. And, we went from there and they responded. Now, PJP couldn't run the ball. They had a couple short, I think maybe 6 or 7 yard runs. But for the most part, we were a little concerned with Gray running the ball or scrambling out of the pocket, that type of thing. And for the most part, we did a pretty decent job. In fact, the biggest play of the game defensively was clearly the 4th and 3. They went for it probably on the 40 to 50 yard line, our 40 to 50 yard line, and we blew it up. And Gray still kind of slid through, but we still got him short of the first down.
One of the things I'm sure you talked about as a head coach and your defensive staff is Gray's ability not only to keep plays alive, but when he keeps plays alive, he's always looking downfield. It's almost you can't come out of that coverage a little bit where, hey, hunker in, and I'm sure he's packed a little bit of some spy action in your defense.
He has an excellent live arm, and he throws well on the run. I think if you would ask him, he would say there were a couple throws that he normally makes that he didn't make on Friday night. But man, he really wings it out there on the perimeter, and they're tough. They have some timing routes that their timing was slightly off that I think normally they hit. But I would say that also our guys, we got to them a couple times. We didn't have very many. So against Perkins Valley, we maybe had 1 or 2 sacks.
A ton of hurries.
But we had a ton of hurries. Against Pope John Paul, we didn't have a lot of hurries. They got rid of the ball real quickly, and we didn't get a lot of like what you would call hits on the quarterback after the throw. The ball was already out. So, but I think we did enough to get close where some of the timing was a little bit off.
And obviously a good C for your defense going in this week, because you're obviously going to face another really athletic quarterback from one that probably runs a little bit more, but once again, he can throw the ball, but a very athletic quarterback you have in the first round coming here.
Yeah, we'll talk about that in the
last
next.
segment.
Yeah.
All right, listen, it's the teasers. You got to keep it through the whole show. Some people are like, I can't make it all the way.
That's what they call it.
Yeah, teaser. You got to watch out for this Haverford quarterback.
Gotcha.
All right, let's take a look at the defensive highlights from Springford PJP.
Defensive highlights are sponsored by Meshach Physical Therapy.
All right, so here's just this was near the end of the game. This is out of order. So this was a great job. Brandon Smith has been playing in nickel situations. He got a sack here. That was on the second to last play of the game. There we got pressure.
And there's your spy.
J. Seth Owens did a really, really nice job there, staying with it. Again, we get pressure from Terizzi. All right, flush him out, and then J. Seth Owens runs him down.
Cleans it up, yep.
Great job. This was early in the game. They tried to get wide a couple times. You see Nick Teets
Nothing going.
and Blake Terizzi stretching it out, and then the cavalry comes and they make the play. Nick does a great job from his safety spot of coming downhill real hard, and almost close to a safety, but not quite. And I tell you, Ryan Beppel has been playing better and better each week. Right here, he follows the counter tray and runs the play down from behind. I think he did that twice during the game. Here's another play early. We're trying to get outside. Johnny Pergine, Blake Terizzi, Nick Teets, all are running it down. So excellent job. You see, let's catch up camera. There we go. There's the play and make the play inside. Now, we gave them terrible field position early. Here's a kid who was our defensive player of the week, Nate Capers.
Gets off the block.
A big part of their game is a screen game, and Nate Capers gets off a block there and makes a play. Not often do you have cornerbacks who get tackles for a loss, and he made a couple plays and he actually got a tackle for a loss. That's how quick he was on the ball. So.
All right, Coach, good stuff right there. All right, pack season in the books. Postseason football here.
Championship.
District 1 6A champion starts this Friday night.
Liberty Division champions, pack champions. That has a nice ring.
Yeah, it's pretty nice.
Yeah.
All right, but you guys want some more though, right?
Oh, absolutely.
All right, sounds good. Make sure you stay tuned to the commercial break and we will preview the district game with Haverford.
Operation Wonder Park is a go!
There's nothing more powerful than imagination.
Honey, have you seen my cell phone?
But don't just imagine.
My park came to life?
Ooh, a plot twist.
Use STEM to build, create,
She did it.
and change the world.
Who's with me?
I'm more of a 2 feet on the ground kind of guy. It's gonna hurt tomorrow.
If she can STEM, so can you. Find out more at She Can STEM.
Here you go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Welcome back to the Gridiron, sponsored by Rothman Orthopedics. I'm your host, John Brown, with the head coach, Chad Brubaker. All right, Coach, first time I can remember we're playing them. Haverford from the Central League. They're coming here.
It is the first time.
First time in your school's history?
I looked it up.
Never played them before. So first time we're going to play them. They come from the Central League. Garnet Valley's one of their losses on the year. They had another loss in there, but it was early. This team is it's a hot football team.
They've won 8 in a row.
They've won 8 in a row. It's pretty good. Hot football team, athletic quarterback, running game out there. The quarterback's off to a Division I school to play like essentially that athlete position, whatever
or safety.
Safety out there. But once again, a tough opponent for you, tough draw here for you guys to start this district playoffs. But everybody's getting a tough draw at this stage too.
Right, exactly. So the Haverford Fords.
Yeah, that's right.
What if we were the Springford Fords?
That'd be crazy. That's right here.
So, So if we're talking offensively, they have Trey Blair is his name. He ran for like 278 yards a couple weeks ago. So that's not really good for us. But he is an excellent athlete. Obviously, you mentioned he's going to Buffalo. Already verbaled there. They have a wide receiver that's already verbaled to Maryland, who's been injured. So we're not really sure about that, if he's coming back, if he's not. But they are a tough team. They are a physical team, typical Delaware County team, like, hard-nosed kids. And it's definitely going to be a challenge, as all, like you just mentioned, all playoff games are a challenge. Like, there's no more, hey, let's see start prepping for next week.
Right.
There's nothing like that in any stretch of the imagination. So we have our work cut out for us. We're going to have to play really well defensively to win this game.
Because I'm sure this is a team where I'm sure there's conversations, not just you, but teams that play this team. All right, we got to really focus on the run. And then when you do focus on the run, this kid can't beat you with his arm out there. Too.
They don't. It's not that they, they're not going to rely on that or anything like that. But he can certainly throw it. He's just a really good athlete, and he never
designed runs, reads, everything that a quarterback can have is in his playbook, his arsenal, things that he can do out there.
A couple weeks ago, their starting running back was hurt, and that's when he had 278 yards. So they basically used him as a running back. Their running back though is a big kid, physical runner, and they're good.
They're going to present some challenges to your defensive staff.
Right.
All right, let's take a look at Haverford on offense.
Highlights are sponsored by Rental World of Limerick.
They're in the red here.
They're in the red. This is against Conestoga this past week. This is him. This is him.
Boof. He's got some size to him, Coach.
Yeah, he can run too. See, he outruns the secondary. I think that was 78 yards, 80 yards, something like that. 82, let's just say. He made a kid miss there, a kid missed there, a kid missed there, a kid missed there.
And then just runs away from
And then some of the kids aren't, some of the kids aren't really hustling there, but at the same time, he's running away from them. So, 82 yards. You don't oftentimes hear of a quarterback running 82 yards. So here he is again.
Same type of look here again they gave you with that too.
This is inverted veer. Again, he's going to.
Wow.
Yeah. Probably got in there, but they marked him on the 1.
1 inch.
Yeah. So they do a lot of different things where they bring guys in motion, and then.
His speed when he gets going is just like next level speed.
Yeah, he's pretty fast kid. If you're gonna go to Buffalo,
you
better be able to run.
You better have some wheels.
You're gonna run. So,
But they're giving you that look with like that kind of the H-back, wing-back. Here he is throwing it.
And this was good defense, and he looped it over the top. Their receivers do make plays. Like their receivers right here. Clearly, this is a tip ball, and the kid concentrates and still makes the catch. So, and again, this is their running back. All right, he makes a guy miss, breaks his ankles right there. Not as fast as the quarterback, but more of a bruising type kid. They run a lot of counter.
Looks like they got some size in the offensive line there too, a little bit.
Yeah, they do. 74 is a pretty good athlete running at about 270 pounds. So, and here's another passing play, little play action. All right, and again, the ball's tipped, and 25
makes the play of it.
Does a great job of maintaining his concentration and catching the ball. So,
okay, so let's take this thing right here. You're showing the kids the film, and that's the first time I'm impressed. So I'm sure some of the kids are like, how do you curb that a little bit from the kids, from the
we run these plays in practice, a lot of the plays that they're running. So the kids have seen them. Okay. It's just a matter of, everything on defense is about the fit. All right. So here, we'll use these, right? Mm-hmm. We'll use these.
I see the cups.
Okay. Yeah. So you're responsible to fit here. I'm responsible to fit here. Someone's responsible to fit here. And we got to take care of all the gaps. And we call it canceling gaps. So I want to cancel this gap and force him to bounce to you.
Next guy,
And I want him to cut. If I cancel this gap and he cuts back, we got to have somebody in that gap and making the play. So, it's about discipline is really what it's about.
Okay.
So, discipline and playing hard.
Yeah, because like I said, you see him you watch him and you're like, it's an impressive. And you can put any footage of a lot of.
We cannot allow him to get in the open field. We're in trouble if we get him. So we've got to keep bouncing him.
Gotcha.
And if we pinball him a little bit, pinball him meaning like he wants to go to this gap and when we cancel it and make him bounce one way or the other, we got to count on that guy showing up. So.
All right, Coach, good stuff right there. How about it defensively? What are you going to see from Haverford defensively?
Well, so they play 4-4-4-3 for the most part. Cover 3. They do what they do, and they want their kids to, know their alignment, know their assignment. They stay in it for most of the time, and they don't waver from it. So, we'll see. That's what we've seen on film. They just trust their kids, and they're willing to let their kids stay in that system and play. And, they've been good at it. I think they've scored, it's a crazy score. In their last 8 games, they've scored 350 and allowed 40 or something crazy.
Yeah.
So it's working for them.
Gotcha. All right, let's take a look at Haverford on defense.
Highlights are sponsored by Rental World of Limerick.
So they're sitting there. You can see they're even front. We're Conestoga's rolling out, and yeah.
It almost looks like Stoga's just out there. You know what I mean?
What?
Looks like Stoga's out there. They're just kind of going, like you said, going through the. Like he has him in the flat there. If he gets rid of it out of his hand,
Sure. Well, I don't know.
Yeah, listen. I'm not throwing that. I'm just seeing what I see.
Right. You can say more than I can. All right. So this is one of the things that they do in short yardage situations. They're gonna bring. This is the one big variation that they do is they bring everybody up, and you better have a plan and get rid of the ball quickly because they're coming after you. But here again, this is their base defense. All right, they slide a little bit.
Get some pressure. It's pressure with 4 too.
Right tackle again. Well, whatever.
Yeah.
Gotta do a better job. But they're big dudes. They're coming after you. They play hard. They're hard-nosed, blue collar type dudes that just come off the field and want to make plays. And there you go. That's what can happen. So, again,
they're showing extra guys.
This is what I was talking about earlier. And no,
nothing.
Yeah.
Oh.
So you can't get rattled by it. You got to know what the plan is. They have 7 guys up on the ball, and they're coming. And so that they're playing 0 behind it. And you got to get rid of the ball and know where the ball is going. They actually even had a lineman downfield in that play. So the pressure got to Conestoga clearly. But this is more standard of what they do. Cover 3 look.
We'll go back and play in the back. We'll rush our 4 and cover.
Right. And they're good enough to do that. Obviously, they get pressure with their front 4. So we're going to have to, there's pressure there.
Got to block up front.
Got to block up front, protect the quarterback. So another interception. Obviously big, column on our to-do list is protect the football.
All right, Coach. Well, good stuff here. Hopefully, everybody stayed from the beginning to the end and watched the whole show out there today. That's all we're trying to do, right? You can't just watch the first 5-minute segment. You got to watch all the way.
You got to see the preview of the next game. What are we about?
Right,
and
some of our best banter comes here at the end too. You know what I mean?
We're not going to rest on our laurels, as they say.
Yeah, good one right there, Coach. All right. Well, best of luck to you and the crew in the first round of districts. Make sure you tune in next week as we recap the district playoff with Haverford. For the head coach, Chad Brubaker, I'm John Brennan. See you next time on the Gridiron.